Oh, JJ, I can see his handsome face. What's he wearing? What's he wearing? Some days it's just not worth chewing through the restraints. I love it. That was great. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. I didn't want to undercut the process by, putting myself on camera wearing the thing. But if I was needed, I was ready to,
Jump in.
Okay. So thanks very much. I was in the background all multitasking, trying to do my notes for today, and I gotta go like take some serious painkillers and try to eat and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I just wanted to let you know that I'd be around and would try to take some stuff in and think about some things. So I'm looking forward to next week. I really
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You bet. Anything for me that you wanted to say or deliver or think about before I do bolt during the post game here? Or no?
Well, if I let everybody in, they're not going to let you go. So I want you to go. And
no, but if there was anything specific though, really, that was like
no, why didn't anybody show up? What's your opinion?
Well, I mean, you have your own world set up here. No one wants to come in here and get flamed, I mean,
well, they're more than willing to do it on the comments.
Well, of course, yeah, it's safer there, right? I mean, it's safe. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people kick each other so hard on social media to start with. There's built-in distance, and there's a lack of a need for responsibility for our actions and things like that. So the more distance, the more folks tend to be aggressive without sort of owning what they've done. And so, the more there's a closeness to it, it's not going to go that way. So,
okay. We gave him a shot.
That's all right. We're good to go. Hey,
okay. Love you, JJ.
Take care of each other. Be good. All that good stuff. Okay. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye, buddy.
Nobody came to fight us tonight.
Oh my God. I thought it was so funny when I first pretended to be a Trumper and you got so mad at my when you were answering my question. I'm like, it's really not me, right?
Yeah.
Sanjay, when he would get upset in a post, you would not recognize him.
Oh yeah. That's cool. No, I mean, I was hopeful. Is Brian with us? Brian was, there he is. So Brian and I were like, come on, man, somebody's got to show up. Come on.
Somebody's got to show. Come on, man. They're all super vocal. Look at the Russian troll you got just before the meeting. He would have been perfect.
Exactly.
Come on, that guy was awesome. Word salad sandwich.
He was incredible.
There's a guy who looks like this who missed his opportunity.
Sanjay, you really need Axios to interview because they're hardball.
Yeah, they are.
They really needed to come on here.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Good.
It was so good. He made mincemeat of him.
That bloated, rotten corpse of a orangutan said, "It is what it is." When asked about the death, may he rot from cancer. That piece of shit.
Here's my papers for you.
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you right here. I haven't looked at them, but they tell me.
Yeah, they're graphs made with.
I saw all week.
It was so good.
It was great. It was awesome. Yeah, that was what happened when I cleaned it. Anyway, so so JJ said that it's they're just not. They don't feel like really putting themselves out there. They're more than happy to be snipers.
Yeah.
Right? But when they want to when you want to get in the thick of hand-to-hand combat, no, nope. They won't do it.
Yeah, their go-to is the 2015 mask study. That 2015 mask study.
Yeah.
That showed cloth masks in a hospital situation.
Yes.
That gets posted 300 times on every mask post that Governor DeWine or the Ohio Department of Health puts out there.
Yeah.
And it's just this long list of people posting the same study. And it's like, guys, do you read this or do you see the date or do you understand what's going on? It's
1 second.
wild. Yeah, no problem.
Come on. Go.
Yeah.
To point to that one a lot, Brian, and I posted a counter study that was done over a number of states to show what happened to the numbers when they before and after they did a mask mandate.
Absolutely.
And that study they don't even want to look at.
No, they don't read the study that they post.
I know.
Yes.
Fact.
Good point.
It's like,
Good point. They
Yeah,
don't. read the-
you
Sanjay,
post their own studies and they don't even know what it says.
Yeah.
I had and this happened, Sanjay saw it, and I put screenshots on my page, and I was trying to tell this lady the difference between the original SARS and the novel SARS. And I was saying novel as in new virus. So 2005, the beta SARS against the novel SARS, and she told me to try critical thinking.
I saw that.
You just want to reach through this screen and pull out a heart.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier too on the Q&A. So I had a guy tell me that the new COVID is a 96% match for the SARS. So the RNA match is 96%. I said, well, you're 99% match for a bonobo. So welcome to being a bonobo.
Yeah.
Do you understand that it doesn't take that much of a difference to make a massive difference?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing that, and I did this very specifically for these reasons. So there's my public page, which is me. Okay, it's my kids, my dogs, my travels, and my politics.
Your cars.
And my politics is a big part of my life. So that's always been that way. Terry's known me for over a decade. So that's me. Then this comes along and the disinformation, and John's like, you got to do a town hall. You got to help educate people. You got to help them know what can keep them safe and what's dangerous. And John hops in and here we are 20 weeks later. And so that was what partially gave birth to the page, which is all the research that I do to prepare for these weekly town halls, I put there so that people can avail of it. And if it's a 2-hour long virology thing, but this week in virology, or if it's a news thing, or if it's about kids, or it's a lecture, medical school teachers are on there, Dr. Syed and Mike Hansen and all these other guys, they're all there. And you can pick and choose. The video library is huge now. Then I created, because we started attracting other doctors and PhDs and stuff, then I created the group page, which is different from the resource page. The group page right now is about 135 people, and most of them have biomedical backgrounds. Some of them are just observers, and they ask to be observers. And if you go down there, okay, it's like a lecture hall of, if you go down the hallway of a department in a university. It's abstracts and diagrams and papers and poster presentations. And you can tell there are people who sprinkle in some other stuff, but mostly it's maybe 5 or 6 of us that are really sharing hardcore novel research, preprint stuff. And it's curated in the sense that I don't put anything there that's garbage. It goes through the Sanjay filter first. And 60% of the stuff on medRxiv that comes out, I would say 60% I reject, just because the study designs are terrible, And I joked about this before. I said, half of the research they're doing right now is to show other researchers what not to do. We did this experiment and we learned absolutely nothing, so don't do it. It's not reproducible, it's not worth anything, but here's the results. And that's the state of the state. That's the state of the art. When you're doing something at the cutting edge, at the bleeding edge, a lot of the stuff that you will learn is useless. But you've learned what you can teach other people not to pursue. Okay. And that's all also necessary. That's also necessary. But this has been crazy. That, like you said, Brian, most of the stuff they copy and paste, they've not even bothered to
They
read.
haven't even read it. They haven't even read the like discussion or the results or the conclusions. Even that last paragraph that's in almost every abstract. I'm not a scientist. I'm a historian. I'm an IT guy, but I actually do read studies, you know. And if you do the simplest reading of it, you know, you can tell that this doesn't even promote what they're posting. You know, they just say, "Oh, masks are ineffective."
Sanjay, it's so hard for me because I'm an admin, you know, on the page and group, and if I respond, I'm responding in Sanjay's voice.
Yes.
Okay. So I have to shut up.
It's tough.
It's hard. It's just so goddamn hard to not say anything. And I'm like, Sanjay will see it and he'll say something and he'll say the right thing. And if I say something, it'll be like, why don't you stick that right up your ass? You know, just roll it up into a little ball and jam it up your ass.
You know, the funny thing is in Ohio, everybody posting about the being anti-mask and whatnot, they're all the people who voted for our current governor. And our current governor is listening to the science, at least mostly, and they're all furious about him. You know, they're like, you will never vote for you again. It's like, you elected him. You voted for this guy. I didn't vote for him. I disagree with him on 80%, but the guy actually has a brain and is listening to things. You know, it's bizarre.
The Tea Party Republicans of Texas voted at the state Republican convention to censure the governor for his mask mandate.
I don't doubt it at all. Yep.
Yeah, they did.
Don't doubt it.
Just a month ago it happened, so.
Yeah.
You know, there's this part of me that is somewhat, I'm somewhat disappointed with myself in that I promised that the page and my approach to this would be apolitical, right? But I for the longest time I tried very hard and keep my biases out of you know, these town halls and things like that. And the reason I had to break that rule is they made it political. It wasn't me or my who I represent, the biomedical professionals, that made it political at all. Okay, they took it and made it political. They made masks political. They made hydroxychloroquine, you know, and at that point, it you have to, no matter what you do, when you oppose that, you get sucked into being oppositional. You get sucked into the politics of it. Now, if I really was like Dr. Syed Mobeen, he is a medical educator. I don't think he reads papers. I mean, he doesn't read the newspaper. I don't think he watches the news, honestly. Like, if you watch his YouTube channel, I don't think he knows what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. But he's the most brilliant medical educator, right? And so his beautiful diagrams and his you know, expressive, eloquent explanations of even the most complex concepts, you know, I really appreciate him as an educator. And sometimes I wish I could be like him. Like, could I possibly be an educator of you know, how to stay healthy and safe in this era, in this pandemic, without delving into the politics? It's so hard. It's so hard.
That's what I found so interesting about last week's town hall. I don't have children, but it made me realize that when everyone is talking about sending their children to school, that's going to bring a lot to home for the people that thought that they could argue with other adults about not wearing a mask. Yeah. This is really going to challenge, I think, some of that in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
when you kept saying, it's for our children, our children's lives and livelihoods are at stake. And I was thinking, you know what? This is going to be pretty interesting to see how this affects
That-
that side
this-
of things.
This shit show that's starting now with the schools,
Oh,
nothing fucking good is going to come of this.
Oh,
Nothing.
I liked what you said too about like, okay, we're doing everything, but then once they get in the halls, I saw someone posted a picture of the first day of school in the hallway, and there's one mask, which is the only reason I knew it was a current photo, by the way. I was like, there's no way this is current. And I said, oh wait, one person has a mask on.
Two.
Packed like sardines.
Georgia,
Yeah.
there was 2 kids.
yeah. Yep. And this is what, I want to stress this point. What popped into my head immediately was Mrs. Karen Patton last week with her bottle of disinfectant, wiping down the desks and the books between classes. And I'm like, wow, how fucking useless is that activity for her when that's going on in the hallway?
But you can't convince anybody of that. Like, I get it, but they're going to cling to that more than the airborne part or the, droplet airborne, whatever.
So my ex-wife is a teacher in our Dublin school system here in Columbus, Ohio. She is going to training next week, and they are going to go through training about how to disinfect your classroom.
Yeah.
I am dead serious.
So useless.
And Sanjay, I want to personally thank everybody here that participated last week, because I was having a hard time getting through to my ex about how important it is to think about these things, sending our daughter back to school. She's a 7th grader in a different school district that is heavily Trump supporting. And they're going back, like, they were going to go back full bore, but now they're going hybrid. Her watching last week's town hall, that was part of what convinced her to do remote. So we got a choice in to do remote or hybrid. And she did watch it. I encourage her. I was having a hard time getting through, but kind of slowly but surely, she kind of made a pros cons list as I encouraged her to do. And so we're going to do remote at least the first semester, which is half the year. So, I do think there are benefits to this that are more widespread than you see here by the people represented. So thank you very much.
That makes me feel so good. I mean, it just makes me feel like everything that we're doing is worth it. Even one person is safer because of what we're doing here. I feel better.
I was so surprised that you were bringing up all the reasons that it is great for kids to go back to school. It was a really good one for me to take both perspectives.
Yeah.
And
I know that I just feel like saying, okay, everyone get ready to homeschool. We're going to try this, but get ready to homeschool for real.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be caught off guard.
Have you seen what's been happening in Israel, where they opened the schools and now they have 28,000 students and educators infected and quarantined?
And that doesn't even count what they took home to their families.
Right.
Absolutely.
Were they masked?
Well, they probably
It's summer.
started
It's
out that
midsummer.
way.
I think I don't
They
know that they
exempted
were.
masks from the heat after a while.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
gave them a
So-
mask. They gave them a mask exclusion or whatever because
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
they're experiencing a heat wave, and
Okay.
it can be very suffocating to be in a mask. It's just it's all bad. If you want your kids to sit in there, the air conditioning system has to be HEPA, okay? Because if it can go from one room to the next easily, it's blowing down on them. So even if they're masked for that whole 45 minutes, if it's coming in, it's going to be on everybody. And
But they don't have funding for that. They don't even have funding for books and stuff. I mean, here even. So if they even said they HEPA'd, would they be changing it? Who's changing it? Are they really changing it?
I posted
We have no answers.
I posted an article about it was from the Washington Post about a school superintendent in Arizona. And he basically says he's given an impossible task to
Absolutely.
try and get his district ready for something that they don't even still know the scope of.
right.
And it was I even said it was heart-wrenching to read what this guy was having to deal with, because he thought during getting ready for school, it'd be safe to put 3 teachers in a room, you know, to set up for distance learning. All 3 of them came down with COVID.
Yep.
And now you're going to fill that building up with children, you know, and he says his district has no money to do all the over the top things that might actually be effective. So times that by 10,000 schools.
They'd be better off taking their football stadium or whatever fields and tenting them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Having distance chairs, which of course that's not going to work. You can't hear outside, etc. But for real, like I don't even know. I'm glad that people are trying, but they really should. I just feel like everyone should be told from the get-go, this probably isn't going to work. We want to work with you. We're going to do our absolute best, but we want you to really be prepared. So nobody's going, what do? I didn't know this is going to happen.
Yeah, so there's also a big shortage of substitute teachers too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they only get paid a little over $100 a day, and it's usually retired teachers that act as substitute teachers, older.
Yep.
So all of the older teachers are like, no way, we're not coming back. So
That's my ex's school system. They have essentially a zero. They have no substitute teachers. So the moment someone gets sick, it's over.
Yeah, so if there's an outbreak, they're gonna have to close down. So
But there's no if there. There's no
I know.
if
Going to
there.
happen.
They're going to. You're right.
Yeah, my daughter's school system is they're still pushing for sports. So they're having sports tryouts starting this Saturday for soccer, for volleyball, for football. Like, I don't get it. You know, I don't know what to say. I wrote 5 emails, so only 5. I tried to hold myself back to the Ohio Department of Health and the Olentangy superintendent and the school district. I've received 0 replies. Not even a form letter, not even some type of, hey, you know, here's how it's going. The school district that my daughter's in had a deadline date to choose whether or not to go remote on August 2nd, this Sunday. They released information today about what the hybrid program was going to be. And I'm in a group on Facebook where all these parents that are in the district, there's about 2,000 people in this group. They're like, if I would have known this plan, I would have chosen remote. But they didn't get information about it until after the due date. So now they're all whitelisted. They're on a wait list to go remote now. It's ridiculous.
I just, you know, I was joking that all the trolls that are coming onto our page and on my page, I was like, you know, climate scientists miss you. And yeah, and you know, it's a brand new kind of denialism, but now it's very insidious, right? Well, I guess climate science denial is insidious too, in that you just go about your life and then the decisions you make are never clouded by any concern for the environment or you know, the future generations. I think that these schools, and especially in these deeply conservative, you know, pro-Trump areas, they are living in denial. They are living in a state of disconnection from, you know, the realities of how severe this is and how severe it can get. Because they're constantly being told that things are under control and things are getting better, and the case fatality rate is low compared to everywhere else, and mortality is falling, and we have remdesivir and we have dexamethasone. And if you listen to COVID Kaylee every day, it is distressing because she just repeats the same thing over and over and over again. Because clearly, if you repeat a lot enough, people believe it. Eventually, they'll believe it.
Before the election, this is going to blow up again, and the numbers should get higher and higher, and there won't be any denial.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But we'll have, I mean, can you imagine the narcissism that he wants a vaccine out whether it works or not, before the election.
Well,
So he can
today's
stamp his
plan-
name on it. Like, I got you a vaccine. Fuck it, it
October,
doesn't work.
October surprise. Get ready for it.
What is the October surprise in your prediction? A vaccine?
Yeah, 50-50 vaccine.
Or a fake one.
50-50.
That he
Not
won't
even,
take-
I don't
he
even,
won't
not
take
with
it.
this platform, Terry.
No.
I was being nice. Not with
No,
this-
but this is what's going to happen. He is going to rush this thing out, the operation,
warp speed.
yeah, and this is what the result is going to be. And he's already trained his base that you can't trust science. So they'll all run out and get it. And by the time he thinks he's going to be reelected, they'll be sitting in a box, in the ground somewhere. What does he care?
I don't know that his base is gonna go get it.
No, there's so many of them are anti-vaccine. They
But
think
it's
that
gonna be the
Bill
Trump
Gates is gonna put
brand.
a chip in
Oh,
them.
right.
It's going to be the
Tracking chip.
Trump brand.
Yeah, I think
George-
the Trumpies are going to get on it.
The George Soros and Bill Gates aren't going to be involved with this one. It's going to be safe.
Yeah.
No nanobots in the virus.
Yeah.
In the vaccine.
As I like to say, I got 3 free months of HBO Max when I got my chip in the vaccine. So I recommend it highly.
No, for real, my mom wants HCQ, but she doesn't want the vaccine.
Oh,
So wait, so she's a consumer of what? Just straight Fox News?
Yeah,
Straight
she
Fox.
watched the video of that doctor.
Yeah. Did you see the paper that they did on Fox? I think it was it was Hannity and Carlson, specifically on Fox News. I have it. It was in maybe like week 10 or something like that, about how, I mean, the rigor, the scientific rigor that went into the analysis of how they influenced a particular demographic behavior when it comes to this pandemic. It's like irrefutable. Like you look at this and you're like, whoa, they just dotted every I, crossed every T when it came to their analysis. They can show, or they showed that people's behavior, I can't even describe it. Like if I had, how unbelievably transparent it became to them that people's behavior is influenced by what they watch on Fox News, especially from those two personalities. Like phrase by phrase. He said this on this date in April, and like 7 days later, this is what happened with 37% of the viewers in this particular demographic.
I didn't even bring it up. She brought it up to me and told me if she gets COVID, she wants that drug. I didn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the amount of people calling their doctors and asking for it as a prophylaxis.
Yeah. It's got to be in the,
I mean, now.
what do you think, guys?
those people don't have
Hundreds
doctors.
of thousands, easily. Hundreds of thousands.
They don't have doctors. They don't have insurance.
That's
I
true.
posted on the Q&A, I just saw a notice, Florida representative just came out and said, I have COVID. They treated me with the H word. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Oh.
Thank God.
And he's a Republican. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But
Big
Donald
time,
Trump,
yeah.
Donald Trump put 29 million doses into the national stockpile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this isn't going away. It's going to, like I said last week, it's going to be here this month. It's going to be here in September. It's going to be here in October. There's always going to be someone marching out with some bullshit about hydroxychloroquine.
I wish it worked.
I just saw that
I know.
thing on,
I know.
I don't know what it was from, when exactly it was, but it was in some congressperson talking to Fauci and saying, well, have you read this study? And Dr. Fauci said, unless it's a, double blind placebo, da, da, da. And the guy said, but this is peer reviewed.
Yeah.
And Fauci said, that's okay. I still won't do it unless it's he's like, if it says double blind, it works through and it works, I'd be happy to say it works. But until that happens, no. But the guy thought that peer reviewed, it was like what we were talking about earlier, where they don't even read the article, or they think they know science, but they don't.
No, it's dangerous times. Dangerous.
It really is. I mean, that's happening at that level of government.
Yeah. Well,
Not-
I have to get the dogs as usual, 10:30. I love you all. I'm glad you're all healthy and doing well. Thank you again for joining us. Sorry there were no fireworks, but
Aw.
I
was
came ready.
waiting for that.
I tried to help out.
Oh, I was sending out
The only thing I didn't have was
invitations all
popcorn.
over the place.
So I was like, bring them all.
Anytime
I was
We're
waiting
gonna
for
have to get,
Come
we'll get
argue.
Hydrox cookies to sponsor the page. I love that, by the way.
Lauren, thank you for the shout out on your daily vlog.
Always,
Yeah.
always. Mine.
The other one too, Lauren Roberts. I saw her last night. Brian, always thank you. Pamela, hope you're healing up.
Yeah.
Lorraine,
I'm much better.
Leslie, Karen, Catherine, Cynthia, love you guys. Take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you guys.